This is Winning with Wisdom Interactive.
Question number one, what is the big deal? Why are my words so important? Well, good question. What is the big deal? Why are your words so important? Let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I wanted to update my cell phone. So I got, my friends talked me into getting this super hooper phone where you didn't have to even type in the letters for the text to go out or the email. You could speak into it. And I tried it and it was awesome. I went to the Lord. I said, Lord, thank you for my voice-activated phone. I don't like typing those tiny little letters and always make a mistake. And then the Lord said to me, son, you don't understand. The world is catching up now to what I have been doing throughout time. I said, Lord, what do you mean? He said, this is a voice-activated universe. This is a voice-activated system. Before I created heaven and earth, said the Lord to me, I created the voice-activated system. I said, Lord, you have to show me. And so I started to study. And as I get into these scriptures, you'll understand, because this ability to create by voice, the words, to change situations, was actually put in place by God himself back in Genesis and then transferred to you and I. Genesis 1:1. It says, in the beginning God created heaven and earth. Well, that's true. In the beginning God created heaven and earth. But the question I have for you today is, how did God create heaven and earth? Did it just appear? Did he just think about it? What caused heaven and earth to show up? And so I did a further study. And in verse 3 it says, God said, spoke words, let there be light, and there was light. He saw the light and it was good. He called the light day and the darkness night. Then God said, let there be firmament, waters. He said it, it happened. He said it, light came. He said it, water came. As I went down all through Genesis, I said in verse 9, it says, and God said, let the waters under the heavens be gathered together in one place. He said it, it happened. God called that dry land earth and gathered the waters together, which we call the seas. And as I'm going down here, God said, let the lights and the firmaments of the heavens divide the day and the night. He said it, the sun was created, the moon was created. And as I went through Genesis 1, all through chapter 1, and all through chapter 2, here's what I found out. God spoke and things were created. Do you think words are a big deal to God? They are. And that's why they're a big deal to you and me. Because when we speak, something happens. Every time God spoke, an end result occurred. The sun came up, the moon came up, the seas split, the heavens were created. All of that happened when he spoke. So I said, okay, Lord, I understand that you created by words, but what's that got to do with you and me, with me? He took me to Genesis chapter 2. In Genesis chapter 2, he said now, let us make man in our image and in our likeness. So he makes man in his image, in his likeness. Let me see, here we go. Genesis chapter 2. Let me go over there. He makes man in his image, in his likeness. And then he says, he blessed him. Genesis 2. And now, of course, we're into verse 28. God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply. God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply. So now, God creates man. He said in Genesis 1:26, let's make man in our image, in our likeness. So that's interesting. So man was actually a carbon copy of God. Because God is not a creation, he's a creator. And when he made man, he didn't make us to be creations, he made us to be creators. How do I know that? He says now in verse 28, Genesis 1:28, and God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful and multiply. The word blessed is the Hebrew Chaldean word braka, and it literally means an empowerment. So God gave to man an empowerment. What was that empowerment he gave him? He blessed him. You know, we use this word all the time. I'm blessed, I'm blessed. Oh, please bless me, Lord. But the real meaning is empowerment. And he gave him this empowerment to be able to speak things into existence. Wow. Yep. He didn't have to beat down the tigers and the lions and the elephants. He just said, sit, and they would sit. He would speak, and things would change because of his words. And man was given this power. He was given this empowerment. It says in Genesis 1:28, God blessed them and said to them, be fruitful. What does that mean, fruitful? Start creating. Use your words to create your world. That's what the word fruitful means in the Hebrew Chaldean. Be creative, multiply, fill the earth, which literally means replenish the earth and subdue it. How? Exercise your authority through your words. Wow. In fact, when I studied this, I found out that it wasn't God who named the animals. He took a piece of dirt. He said, man, it's not good for you to be alone. He took that piece of dirt. I said, I'm going to make you a companion. Put it right in front of man and said, what will you call it? The animals never became what God called them. The animals became what Adam called them. He was exercising his voice-activated system. Oh, are you getting a hold of this? See, the words we speak are critical. They literally change our lives. There's another question that came in. How can I use my words to change my life? Well, as we study this out, we find this empowerment has been given to us. Come with me, if you would. We're going to go to Proverbs. And we're going to pick it up in verse 15. Proverbs chapter 15. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 15. And we're going to see here, Proverbs 15, verse 1. In Proverbs 15, verse 1, it says, a soft answer turns away wrath, but grievous words stir up anger. So the right word can literally turn away anger. The wrong words can stir it up. The tongue of the wise, that means the words coming out of your mouth, the tongue of the wise utter knowledge rightly, but the mouth of the self-confident fool pours out folly. So your words can release wisdom. Your words can release folly. A fool speaks just for the sake of speaking, never bothers to think that his words are on assignment to create something. Now, what's this? Verse 3. The eyes of the Lord are in every place, watching upon the evil and the good. Why are the eyes of the Lord watching everywhere? Because they're listening to your words. They're watching the words that you speak. Are they words of blessing? Are they words of cursing? Are they words that will now allow God to manifest his plan? Or, I always get sick on Mondays? Are those the words that hinder God's plan? He's watching all the time. Our words are critical to God, because our words literally, when released, change our world. Now, what's this? A gentle tongue, your words, with its healing power. He actually refers to the words that we speak having healing power. Wow. The gentle tongue with its healing power is a tree of life. What happened to the tree of life in the garden? It ended up in your mouth and my mouth. Our tongue is called the tree of life. That's why it's so important that we get a hold of this. Critical that we get a hold of this. As I studied this in Genesis 18, here's what I found out. Genesis 18, verse 4. 18, verse 4. The words of a discreet and wise man's mouth are like deep waters, plenteous and difficult to fathom. And the fountain of a skillful and godly wisdom is like a gushing stream. So wisdom is released through our words. To respect the person of the wicked and partial to him. A self-confident fool's lips bring contention, and his mouth invites a beating. Words. I'm talking about words here. Okay. Here we go. Let me read this verse. A man's belly, here it is, verse 20. A man's belly shall be satisfied with the fruit of his mouth. The fruit of your mouth. And with the increase of his lips shall he be fulfilled. Now I read the same verse in the Amplified Bible, and it says, a man's moral self shall be filled with the fruit of his mouth, and with the consequence of his words he must be satisfied, whether good or evil. Your entire life has come as a sum of your words. Your words have totally controlled and changed your world. Are words important? Words are critical. I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters, you have to live your words, whether good or evil. It's critical that we now be very careful with the words that we speak, because the words that we speak will determine whether we see blessings or curses in our life.
In the book of Genesis, during the creation process, God called things from the unseen realm into our visible realm.
There was only one way he could create. Voice, 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 voice. How did he create the universe? Spoke it. How did he create the sun and the moon? Spoke it. How did he create the firmament? Spoke it. How did he create everything? Light be. Light was. Are you getting a hold of this? Earth be, heaven be, everything, firmament be, sun be, moon be. Everything has to be now created by words. Why? Because we live in a voice-activated system.
Get your copy of this newly released 6-CD message on Voice Activated System Volume 1 by calling 1-888-947-3660 or visiting us online at wisdomministries.org. Order your copy today.
WisdomMinistries.org allows you to stay connected and up to date with upcoming events and teachings from Dr. Nasir Siddiki. Free teaching downloads, videos on demand, free magazines, online store, live streamed events, and much more. All of Dr. Siddiqui's teachings are just a click away. WisdomMinistries.org.
Hi, this is Jeff Swagger. I'm from Miami, Ohio. Since joining up with Wisdom Ministries, we have seen supernatural things happen. By learning this word, we've paid off over $186,000 worth of debt. We've seen supernatural healings. We've seen tremendous growth in our business. If you want to see the power of God move in your life, you need to connect with this ministry right here, because God is moving in this ministry, and we're just grateful to be a part of it. Thank you.